Whoa, hi folks, this is my man coming to you from parts unknown. How is everybody tonight? And I hope my signal's clear because I'm not in a place I'm used to being. And I had my camera on. Oh my goodness. But anyway, I guess we'll get through. I hope everybody's doing well. And we got, as usual, a lot of things we got to report on and talk about. We got the Key Bridge. We got what's going on with Alvin Bragg and Judge Mercon and Fani Willis. Boy, she just got plucked between the eyes. Seems to be that she might not even have the jurisdiction to be doing any of this nonsense. You know, a lot of times you'll see in court, especially some of these YouTube videos, where people will be on Zoom, popular after the CVID, and they'll try to talk to the judge, and the judge will say, that's not what's before me. I can only talk about what's before me. And, well, it seems that there's protocols. A judge can't just hear cases or decide, go out and arrest that person and bring them in here. Let's have a trial. Prosecutors can't do that either. There has to be a complainant. There has to be somebody to bring the charge, make the complaint. And in Fani Willis's case, nobody from any election official or any type of jurisdiction concerning elections came with a complaint. She just apparently PFA plucked from the air, right? So let me see who all's coming in. I hope my signal's good. How you doing, Jax? Nikki, how you doing? B Charming, how you? Sissy, Angel, Diane, B-Dog, Debbie, Damon, Wanda, everybody's coming in. Hi, Donna, Allen. Okay. It's good to see everybody coming in. So, Lone Wolf, the Cat, single songwriter. All right, I got a good signal. 5x5's good. Hi, David. Nice to see you all coming in. So, anyways, Judge McAfee gave a certificate of some sort. Well, what do they called it? For immediate review by the appellate court for that, and I'm sure a myriad of other issues. And we're going to see how that plays in. And also Letitia. And she's not going to be the only one. But there's federal civil rights laws. You can't be making comments like too pale, too stale. And even Alvin Bragg, we'll see what they got in with him when he's saying caudacity, referring to Caucasian race. Hey, that sword cuts both ways. That sword's cut both ways. You can't exhibit discrimination. You can't practice it. You can't talk about it. You can't create it in a workplace or especially in a position of public trust like that. So Trump might have some and who knows what they've got. Hi, Gary. How you doing? Awakened Trillium. How you doing? Outlandish. Mike 1176. Yeah, I got a little, got to get a little settled down for my voice and stuff. But anyway, so I got a picture here. I've had this thing for a couple of years, this meme about Alvin Bragg. Back when he was trying to sue him or trying to bring the case. Well, he didn't want to bring the case, and Cyrus Vance decided he wasn't going to bring the case. But they pestered him so much, and I got some reminder articles, stuff blast from the past. We've seen this stuff. We've been over it so many daggone times. It seems to be getting old hat, but we get new people tuning in all the time. And speaking of that, I want to thank my new subscribers for coming in, and appreciate y'all. And for the people that have been with me for a while, if I repeat things or show some you've already seen, hey, why do you think the mainstream media keeps repeating stuff over and over and over? And we know it's wrong, but they keep repeating it. And here's an article that just backs up what we were discussing about what they're going to do as one of their last stitches. Senior House Dems signal they may not certify 2024 election results if Trump wins. And that goes in line with a lot of what I've been saying and what pundits have said. I forget her name, but I've got another message from her. Yeah, a single songwriter said, like and subscribe. And I know Nikki said the same thing too. So please hit that like button. It'll help things get around. Did I show a video last time I did a picture show of a wind, what do you call them things? Windmill or whatever they call them, caught on fire? Because I remember when that happened. I saw it on TV, and they had a helicopter flying over news agencies, and I saw it while it was happening, and two workers that were trapped on this wind turbine. So I'm going to show that video, I think, here, because I can remember just being aghast at what happened. If you've ever done any industrial work, and but anyway, because we're going to be talking about these scams, and because that's what we're looking at with everything we're talking about is a scam. We got 5, what were they, soccer players that were transgendered men, right? They blow out the team and win. You have Brittany, air quotes, Griner, making 6 figures, sometimes 7 figures with endorsements, playing on a woman's team. It's all, in my book, a scam. And so is the climate situation. And a lot of things. And the thing that gets me is so many damn people fall for it. But, we had this huge win by Trump, right, guys, with the Truth Social. And I'm going to bring this up here. It says 17 hours, but I took this screenshot probably a month ago. Okay. Devin Nunes. And I've talked in the past about SEC chairman, okay, Gary Gensler, and how he's tied in with Peter Strzok somehow, Stanford University. We got Stanford University tied in with scam Stankman fraud. And anyway, we'll get to him in a minute. 25 years in a joint. But hey, don't believe that, okay? Anyway, just a reminder. SEC chairman's role. Let me make that bigger. Nothing to see here. SEC chairman's role in the Steele dossier. Payments as questions about Trump probe conflicts. Okay, now, SEC chairman had to make the call about letting Truth Social go public. And they were trying to hold it back. But House Intelligence Committee testimony identified Gensler as having final approval for funding the discredited dossier. That is what started the whole ball rolling on the Russia crapiola, okay? So, yeah, somebody put their thumb behind his ear, and that Truth Social went through, right, folks? So remember, they're all like worms in a clump of dirt, right? Worms in a clump of dirt. Speaking of worms in a clump of dirt, this is the creepo right here. This is the creepo that's going to be trying Trump. I call him Judge. I've had our article for a while, but hey, it's all coming around full circle, right? Revealed. Committed leftist judge Juan Merchan, who they call him Merchant, but I heard called Merchan, oversees Trump's sham case in New York City court, made a political contributions to stop the Republicans and Biden for president. Okay, so I've got another shot of him. Trump put out a truth and called him a very distinguished looking judge. And I'm just wondering if he's not alluding to what I pointed out in the past. Here we go. Better shot of him here. Of Judge Merchan. This is Robert Gavoy, a much more recent discussion. Hides juror identities ahead of Trump's New York trial. And I've said it looked to me like indicative of in my opinion, a troubled personality, right? So anyway, his daughter's got some creepy ties, and he put a gag order on Trump where he's basically Cohen, who is a known liar and perjurious individual with a definite skin in the game about Trump and animus toward Trump, can say whatever he wants about Trump. This judge can say whatever he wants. His daughter can say whatever they want, but Trump can't say anything. So we'll see how far that screwball ruling by Merchan goes. So, hi, Andrew. How you doing? Hi, Finding Dory. How you doing? Let me see who else is sneaking in. Gary's here. Camperman. Hi, Camperman. Wanda's here. Mary's here. All right. Nice to see you all. No soul. No soul in those eyes. That's right. But I don't know. Maybe he just got that natural Michael Jackson look, right? But I've had some stuff in my studio for a while. I get on, you know how I get on tangents, and I don't put some stuff up. But, this, so I'm going to fire off some stuff, folks. But, this business, what they're doing with Alvin Bragg and this Judge Merchan, it's concerning. Basically, what they say he was hiding. He was calculating the money wrong about Stormy Daniels. It was really campaign money, and somehow they've finagled felonies out of this payment to Stormy Daniels. But I know I've got in here somewhere an article where, or I'll bring it up later, where Hillary agreed to a fine for what? For helping pay for the Steele dossier, which I just mentioned. That their campaign just said, "Oh, we'll pay a fine," kind of like a parking ticket. And that's the tip of the iceberg with the Clintons, okay? This P. Diddy thing, everybody that thinks, you all see conspiracies in your sleep and stuff like that. Well, we're going to find out links between and modus operandi between the P. Diddy crowd. Did you know they had Leonardo DiCaprio even was, as a very young person, was drawn into that situation, and a lot of other people kind of a blend between a Weinstein and an Epstein, this P. Diddy situation. So we'll see how that all pans out. But just as far as Hillary and her campaign situations and her dealings with Ghislaine Maxwell, well, wait a minute. Here we go. Haiti and Ghislaine, all right? John Lefevre put this up. Here's a $20,000 dress Chelsea wore at her $3 million wedding, paid for by Clinton Foundation Haitian Relief Funds. And, of course, they use the Clinton Foundation to funnel money to the Clinton campaigns, and nobody says nothing. Whose face is that circled? Is Ghislaine Maxwell. So what they're accusing of Trump, and I'm bringing this stuff up to reach out to the people who have come in and denied or repeated scurrilous accusations about Trump, and they don't want to see what we work so hard to put right underneath their noses, right? And so I just keep putting it underneath the nose. I mean, this thing with Stormy Daniels tried to turn it into some kind of campaign violation or misappropriation of funds or something like this. Nobody gives a hoot about, and you've got this kind of stuff bubbling up right in front of your face right here. Here she is. Here she is. Epstein's recruiter, Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell, gave Mitt Romney his first $2 million investment and got him started in business. And we all know that Mitt Romney's son has a position in Ukraine Energy on a board of directors, just like Hunter. So some point people got to wake up. Here, I'll put this small enough in case you want to get a little screenshot of that and put it up somewhere. Just do like they say on Facebook. Here, I'll just leave this here and put that post up along with the one with Chelsea's dress, So, hey, some point we're hoping people will wake up. And I will repeat the Gary Gensler business. I will repeat. Let me get this small if you get a screenshot of it. The Gary Gensler with the SEC had to approve, and I'm sure he did everything in his power to delay approval of Truth Social merger, but the pressure was too high. His ties with Stanford University and Bankman-Fried's parents working at Stanford University, and all the campaign contributions to Obama through Stanford University. So anyway, speaking of scam, stankman fraud, here is Benny Johnson put this up. There he is with Maxine Waters. How's it going? A jailhouse pick. So what I'm saying about this situation with him being in a joint for 25 years. Well, according to the guidelines, is what an article I read earlier. He was looking at up to 160 years. Earlier articles I read said that 100 years. I didn't see anything less than 100 years, up to 160 years. And his attorneys were asking for, 6 to 10 years, something like that. And guess who's the judge that sentenced him to 25 years? They called him tough as nails. Well, somebody's looking at 160 years and you give him 25 years. That's not quite tough as nails. Prosecution was asking for 60 to 90? So he's got these 25 years. Guess who the judge is, folks? Diane's been watching, paying attention, or doing her own homework. Judge Kaplan. And who's Judge Kaplan? Judge Kaplan is the one who oversaw the crazy old lady that claimed Trump messed with her at Bergdorf's, right? With no memory of year, day, time, place. And yeah, that's what we got. Judge Kaplan. But that's why I'm saying is don't fall for this 25-year business. Because, you know why? Because judges oftentimes get petitioned to reconsider their sentence. And that can happen 6 months, a year, whatever, down the road. And that is generally not thrown out for the public. It's available to the public, but you seldom hear about it. I'll be surprised if he does 5 years. Even with Rob Blagojevich, he was sentenced to 15 years. He actually did 8. Now, that was because he got a commutation. But seldom are you going to see somebody, especially as you see there with Maxine Waters and all the names you know, Sam Bankman-Fried, on both sides of the aisle, the rhinos and the demos, all of them with the Uniparty that have an interest in keeping his mouth shut. He's not going to do 25 years. But it did make Kaplan look what? Tough as nails. So anyway, we've got, what's the optics for today? Donald Trump, he's down. He went to New York, right? This is from True Social. And the migrant, air quotes, all right, he'd been arrested 21 times and ended Officer Diller's life. They had a memorial. Jonathan Diller was his name. They had a memorial for him today. Trump went there, and that's why I put in my thumbnail, this is not working. Not working, because that's what Trump said, among many other things. But he said, this is such a sad occasion. We have to stop it. We have to get back to law and order. We have to do a lot of things differently because this is not working. This is happening too often. And juxtapose with that, you have Biden also in New York having a fundraiser with a bunch of Democrats, $100,000. And they've got Palestinian protesters outside, and there are uniformed cops that have to protect this so-called star-studded event or whatever they want to glorify themselves. And you know daggone good and well, if they had a choice of where to be, whether they be honoring their fallen comrade or being at that sewage with Biden, Clinton, and Obama. Here's a shot. President Trump tends the wake of slain NYPD officer Jonathan Diller, while Biden, Obama, and Clinton meet at New York's Radio City Music Hall for big dollar fundraiser. And at the bottom there, you see Biden using the baby steps, coming down the baby steps. We don't want him tumbling on. And what's his face? Obama was right behind him. So those kind of optics. If you notice on my thumbnail, I got a TikToker. I got some screenshots of his quotes on one of his TikToks. He was saying, I'll get my citizenship soon, my U.S. citizenship soon, because Daddy Biden is active 24 hours a day. Well, one that's been doing TikToks telling people how to steal houses, be squatters, open his TikTok account, making a bunch of money. And they apparently have a warrant out for him now. So, and they took his TikTok down, but He is putting out the optics uh, that's unmistakable. That just like Mr. T said, this is not working. People are seeing this kind of abuse. Here's an article that came up just before I went live. PM's reported breaking. Simon & Schuster withdraws contract for major book about Biden presidency after lack of market interest. People don't buy Biden books, in stark contrast to books discussing President Donald J. Trump. So, yeah, the people that buy the books, if they realize that half of what's these negative stories are, look through the crap and look at the reality, okay? And speaking of crap and reality, I'll put this one back up too. The fallout from these types of charges they're putting against Trump. The fallout. I know I put this one up before, but think about it, okay? Not just this situation. Wait a sec. You can now indict a former president for paying off women you had S3X with to keep them quiet. Not only that, but all the other stuff they're accusing him of and trying to indict him with. Oh, Angela. Angela went by buy me a coffee. I appreciate it, Angela. My chats will get stuck on the screen, but I don't care. Wait a second. I got to do my... Here we go. I'll give you some hearts. Ha ha. Oh, gosh, I shouldn't have hit that because I don't want to put hearts in front of Bill Clinton. But, when I put these stories about people, it's very seldom you have people up there that you like. Here, I'll do this for them. Oh, where's my boom? There we go. There's your hearts. Thank you, Angela, for stopping by and buying me a coffee. Those hearts aren't for you, Clinton, you bum. Here, let's see if I can blow him up with something. But anyway, I appreciate that, Angela. Oh, I hope my signal's going good because my special effects are lagging. So that means I do not have a very good signal, but enough to keep a steady stream up, okay? There, I put some more hearts up. It's working good. Let's see if this one works. Nope, doesn't want to work. That's okay. Thank you, Angela. So my chats might be stuck on the screen. I do not know. So anyway, talking about tangled webs we weave. I talked about Leonardo DiCaprio being in the P. Diddy situation, right? Along with a lot of other stars. And they're going to be putting out their stories, But don't forget this. This is a couple of months old. There goes a boom. Leonardo DiCaprio testifies that CCP-linked Malaysian financier, now a fugitive, sent $30 million to Obama during 2012 campaign. How many of you all remember this little story? How come the news doesn't report about it? How come if this 160,000, whatever it is, Stormy Daniels nonsense, is something that took 3 years to prepare and put on right during the election is such a big deal? How come nobody said anything about this? Or even remembers it? Maybe it's got something to do with this. Remember this, folks? Rasmussen Reports is a very distinguished group, right? Nobody can discredit them or said anything that they're out of line like Daily Beast or any of these other phony sites. It's real. Rasmussen reports put out that the Trump declassified Crossfire Hurricane records naming Obama, Clinton, and Biden. Oh, they're at the all together today at the fundraiser. But anyway, are the real Department of Justice priority in the Mar-a-Lago raid case. Their priority to make sure the public never sees them, despite Trump's deliberate declassification to expose actual crimes. In other words, they don't want the truth getting out about Crossfire Hurricane, okay, and all the other dirty things we know about. Crossfire Hurricane was the operation where they sold guns to drug gangs in Mexico, thousands of guns, tried to make it appear that it was done by U.S. citizens to frame them. Look what happened with what the ATF did to this person that used to run the Clinton Airport in Arkansas. They raided his home at 6 o'clock. I'll do a kind of a deeper discussion about that. The report they submitted to get that authority to raid the house. They call it a search warrant. They can call it that all they want. But they knew they were going to bust in his house, and they knew bullets would be flying. That's why there has to be some point where a judge takes responsibility. Are you signing a search warrant or a death warrant? Okay? How many times have we seen this happen? It could have happened to Roger Stone, and it could have happened to any number of people who have been treated in this way, where right at the crack of dawn, they say it's not a no-knock raid. They have to knock. Well, I tell you what they do. They go, open up, please. Okay, it's not open up. Boom, they kick the door in. It is a very short bit of seconds. And at 6 a.m., somebody's in bed, half asleep, whatever they're doing, they're going to get abused. But so anyway, this classification case, that is Jack Smith, who we know he's on the ropes right now. He's had to adjourn his case temporarily and not file any more garbage on top of all the other garbage he has dumped on Judge Eileen Cannon. And she is waiting for the Supreme Court to rule on presidential immunity, and also has some rulings herself she has to consider. But I will put this up as a reminder. Let's see. Here we go. And we know where this comes from, right? Don't put it in the chats without hiding it, okay? Executive Order 13526, okay? Section 1.7. Classification prohibitions and limitations. In no case shall information be classified, continue to be maintained as classified, or fail to be declassified in order to, 1, conceal violations of the law, inefficiency, or administrative error. 2, to prevent embarrassment to a person, organization, or agency. 3, restrain competition. 4, prevent or delay the release of information that does not require protection in the interests of national security. They can't keep it classified. But in this case, Trump has declassified it. That's why they made the move that they made to try to confiscate those papers that he wants declassified. And my bet it is because of number one, conceal violations of the law. And it shouldn't have to be declassified by Trump. It should already be available to the public. Why would you classify something? You can't classify an illegal act. Okay? Now, they're talking about national security. That's what Eileen Cannon said. That Jack Smith has got to allow the defense, they have to show them, what are you talking about? Okay? As you can't just say, this is too classified for us to show you, but trust us, it's classified. Well, if they want to continue with the case, they have to disclose what in the world they're talking about, and then they'll be looking at these categories I have on the screen right now. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Hi, BRS. Haha. Brush. How you doing? Yeah, misspell your words, your touchy words. Hi, Phil. How you doing? Cameraman said you're here, Phil. Ingrid, how you doing? Oh, they're back to the big Mike as president, huh? Well, I want to tell you something. This stuff that came out about RFK, I've been meaning to say something the last number of broadcasts. And remember something that Trump said at least twice. He said, remember, when it comes to politicians, they always go back to their first position on something. They always go back to their first position. He said, you see them change. They say, oh, my goodness, you're right. They're running for office, and they'll sing your song. He said, but believe me, they'll always go back to the first position they had. Well, I talked about RFK a while back, and I said, don't get stars in your eyes over RFK because he's a socialist, okay? He was shilling for Citgo and Venezuelan oil giveaways after the communist revolution and the takeover of Venezuela by a communist regime. He was all in with them. I'm not saying, I don't respect him as a man or that he's, flat out 100% communist, but he's listen, a communist is a socialist in a hurry, okay? And he's a socialist like Bernie Sanders. He hadn't hit quite the level of commie, but, he's close. And so I said, don't get stars in your eyes about RFK Jr. And I also said about Tulsi Gabbard, don't fall for that, okay? Because, yeah, I know she was part of the World Economic Forum, Young Leaders, all this stuff. I'm not saying she's not a good conservative, but she wanted common sense gun laws. Don't ever forget that. Flag laws and common sense gun laws, she was pushing that. And she'll go right back to it. The latest I heard is Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio could be Trump's next pick. Well, let me tell you something. I highly doubt it, and I'll tell you why. Not just because of the filthy innuendo he brought up at the debates about Trump. Not just his siding with the rhinos in 2016. But I remember when he first got elected to the Senate, he hung out with John McStain. And guess what he was pushing? Guess what Marco Rubio was pushing? And he backed off it and kept quiet about it. Let me see if anybody guesses. What was Marco Rubio pushing big time? And John McStain took him under his wing, and I think he saw the light and got away from John McStain. Here, I'll put this email for you so you don't have to just sit and listen to me. Why isn't China concerned about climate change? Because they already have a communist government. Anyway. Red flag? No, it's a good guess. I don't see. Well, it has to do with immigration. It has to do with immigration. That's a hint I'll give you. And he pushed it for better part of 6 months, and he got blowback like you wouldn't believe. And then he dropped it for about 6, well, maybe more than that, somewhere between 6 months and a year. Angela hit it right on the head. Amnesty. You're exactly right. I'll give you let's see if I can get a boom to go. Pow! 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 Here, see if hey, pow! There, now my effects are working. I guess they had to wake up. But anyway, he was pushing for amnesty back in 2015-14. And they always go back first position. Don't forget that, folks. So his behavior during the debates, his guttural behavior with Trump, his towing the rhino line, and also his advocating for amnesty. He's cleaned himself up. But just remember, they always go back. So anyway, some of these things I gotta, here's scam, stankman, fraud right here. I snitched this from show. Breaking, Sam Bankman-Fried sentenced to 25 years in prison. Second biggest Democrat donor was convicted for, quote, one of the biggest financial frauds in American history. So, tough as nails. Kaplan gave him 25 years. We'll see. But he's definitely, as far as this battle, been retired. Now, Ron DeSantis, I'm going to bring up something else. So, since I was talking about Florida, Marco Rubio, talking about possible VP picks, people have talked about DeSantis also. I said to always remember that DeSantis was not just a Navy SEAL, but he was a commander, okay? And how he straightened out Florida. Now, the fighting between Trump and DeSantis, what does it take to make a good movie? Good actors, okay? And I'm sure there are some genuine differences between the two. But I've said it about Mike Lindell. I've said it about DeSantis. I've said about a number of people that I feel are DAOs, directly appointed officers that are assisting with what the cat put in there, JAG. And here we have something I didn't talk about that's already happened, but you can find it. Somebody else, if you all remember, I said I felt was a directly appointed officer to some degree, getting inside information and being guided in their actions as Sheriff Grady Judd. So I've talked about Sidney Powell, okay, being a authorized prosecutor for JAG. I've talked about a number of things. So here you have Grady Judd and Ron DeSantis have an illegal immigration press conference. And don't forget that Grady Judd did one of the biggest busts, drug busts, at an airport that tied directly into the top echelons of the National Transportation and Safety Board. Okay? Remember his question during the press conference about those drugs he seized, along with 20-some arrests. There was no way this amount of drugs could have been getting hauled around without somebody up top knowing about it. So, the alternative is to believe that Donald Trump is surrounded by enemies at every turn. Mike Pence was his enemy. Jeff Sessions was his enemy. Bill Barr was his enemy. Ron DeSantis stabbed him in the back. Now, I'm going to gently say that's a little bit naive. I thought this meme was funny. I don't work for you. I work for him. And there's Xi Jinping in the background. But anyway, it's a little bit naive to think that Trump is not aware of who he has, who he's involved with, and some level of cooperation. Oh, here's something else. If I go back and find it, Trump did a number of back-to-back rallies. He also did some TV Newsmax interviews, Fox News Town Hall during that period. I believe it was during a Newsmax interview. How many of you heard him say, and I was going to put it in my title, and I still might do it, especially if I find a clip of him saying it. He said, the way things have been going, there has to be some sort of protective force involved. Did you all hear him say that? I know I heard him say it. He said there is some manner of protective force. And he's talking about him, and he's talking about our nation. That coincides with what he said probably 2 or 3 weeks prior to that he had an angel in the room when he was dealing with the Mueller investigation. And who was I saying was one of the driving forces in the Mueller investigation, a negative driving force, Andrew Weissman. I'll come across him in a minute. Just remember that. Andrew Weissman. I called him Mr. Sweaty Man in the past, right? Mr. Sweaty Man. Let me see. So, a lot of people here, I had this in my studio also. Libs of TikTok. These are. Does anyone notice a strange pattern happening here? Okay, let me see. What's the strange pattern? Let me get that to grow up a little bit. Oh, it's hard to see, folks. But all these people are categorized as WH, what? ITE. You can just see it. You can just see it. It's highlighted. And that's their RACE, right? Did you know that? That's the way it's going in their database. And you figure, well, that's isolated in situation. That was just middle of this month, right? Then this one came up. TDUSA's I Hypocrite put this up. Missouri's S3X offender registry. Quang On Pham, Hong Quoc Nguyen, Chen Von Tran. This one you didn't have to highlight. You can see it pretty good. They're all WHI what? TE. So there's something going on here. And the reason I said, oh gosh, I've had that in my phone for a couple of weeks, never got around to it, now is because they're coming out. Trump's team is coming out and saying it, especially with Letitia James. They're going after him for civil rights violations. It's against the law to discriminate on anybody's race. And but you can see that with these two examples here, that there is some kind of coordination, some kind of communication. Oh my, Wanda. Wanda gets some booms too. I appreciate it. Wanda went by buying me a coffee. Let me see if I can get some boom, pow, some hearts. There you go, Wanda. There's some hearts. Thank you for going to buy me a coffee. I do appreciate it. Pow. So anyway, I had that. I'll put these on my True Social so I can go ahead and divest my memory banks from these tidbits, but it's not normal and it's happening, okay? It's happening and people need to know about it. People need to see it. And people that keep falling for the Biden BS need to wake the heck up. Because it's not normal. This isn't working. What's this one here? I don't even know. Oh, Border Patrol is base. I got to put these on True Social all together. But I just took some examples. Border Patrol Union, official union of the U.S. Border Patrol, funded and administrated by Border Patrol agents, and says, calling Kamala Harris a border czar is like calling a narcissist a firefighter. Border Patrol Union. Biden didn't, quote, lose control of the border. He gave it away. So, man, if we had every union was based like the Border Patrol, wouldn't we have it made? What's this one? Oh, here's X. Someone should, now I've had this for a while too, someone should download the CBP One app and make a step-by-step video of this insanity. That's a lot of planes and a lot of cash. A lot of planes and a lot of airports. Amazing they kept this secret for so long. Biden administration admits it secretly flew 320,000 asylum seekers into U.S. in 2023 alone to reduce numbers at the border. So, I know you all heard about it, but there's so much being thrown at us that it just gets temporarily put in our mental trash pail. All right? And like I say, for new people that are just now figuring out what's going on, we got to keep bringing it up. Here, what are we going to hear this guy's name? This has been a while also. Even though it says 1 hour, this is probably maybe a month old. Democratic operative, look at there, Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen, the serial perjurer, who is a star witness against Trump in the Tish James case and this upcoming case with Merchan. Democratic operative takes credit for sparking Trump hush money probe. A Democratic operative linked to the Clintons claims he was a catalyst for the Manhattan District Attorney's hush money probe into the finances of former President Donald Trump. So I got see, when they thought they were on top, they were bragging about it. Let me see if I'll come across his name in a minute. Here, what's this one? We know about this. This is from Trump. Before Manhattan jury began hearing evidence, DA Bragg's wife retweeted a report that claimed her husband, Trump, quote, has Trump nailed on felonies, and she locked up her Twitter. But here, attached to that is why I kept this. The Hill sources say Democratic Representative Dan Goldman. Let's see when we hear his story, who prosecuted the first Trump impeachment and has been bragging to reporters about sabotaging GOP investigations into the Bidens. This has been a while back. Has privately consulted with Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg over indicting Trump. This was prior to his indictment. So this is all connecting the dots for indictments for people who are participating in election interference, okay, and probably a lot of other crimes, which I'm sure we'll be hearing about. You know, we just got to keep ourselves reminded about this. Now here, let me see what this was. Oh, we all know about the gift cards that New York is giving out, right? This is Crossroads with Josh. This is something else now. Get a load of this. Your taxpayer dollars are being used to push woke and racial justice related programs on teens. A California activist group using taxpayers' dollars has paid high schoolers $1,400 per person to learn how to fight for social justice. Teens are being trained to carry out political racial agendas through roles like, quote, community leaders. Is that why we're seeing those mugshots and they all say WHIT people when, it kind of looks like some other situation to me. I don't know. Here, might as well get this out of the way. This trial balloon is going to fall. This was just 5 days ago. Literally laughed out loud. Donald Trump dementia evidence overwhelming, says top psychiatrist. This is what I was talking about taking licenses, professional licenses, taking them away, not allowing people to call themselves doctors, lawyers, or whatever when they abuse their licenses like this. But this person said, are we really about to see Donald Trump has dementia talking point distributed to the fake news? And we talked about that over the last many weeks, that they were trying this, plus a syphilis ruse. Joe Biden's overwhelmingly obvious dementia. This may qualify as their most hilariously ridiculous narrative yet. But the problem is, we laugh at it, but it's a serious matter because the morons don't. They take it seriously. They fall for it. Wait a minute. That's right. I forgot about this. I was talking about Leonardo DiCaprio, right? I won't be too hard on Leonardo. He was just a kid. But anyway, this has also fallen into the P. Diddy realm. Prince Harry. This came out day before yesterday, I believe, about Prince Harry being involved in the P. Diddy situation. So now we got Prince Harry, Prince Andrew, and all the names that we're familiar with tied into these S3 actual cults, okay? With Epstein, now P. Diddy, the Weinstein, the John of God, Axiom, on and on. So now we got Prince Harry involved. Well, what did Trump, now this may have been the interview where he said there was a protective force, that he felt there was a protective force around him. But I don't know. He made so many different appearances. But Trump says Prince Harry could be deported from U.S. over drug use. Then barely a week later, Prince Harry's sucked into this P. Diddy business. You know, his deportation could be for a lot more than drug use, okay? And if he's involved in certain other things, they might want to keep him for about, 20 years like Ghislaine Maxwell, or R. Kelly, 40 years. I don't know. I'm just asking. But here we go. Multiple criminal referrals expected in Biden impeachment. Now, I saw a letter that Mayorkas sent to the Biden administration. Not Mayorkas. Mike Johnson sent to the Biden administration concerning the impeachment of Mayorkas. We'll see how that goes. Now, this impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden, I said, instead of going straight for impeachment, we need to do the inquiry, because once they vote for an inquiry, they automatically increase their subpoena powers and their investigative powers. And, they're exercising them, okay? And we'll see what bubbles up out of this stuff. And I'm glad it's not going straight to a vote without a thorough go-over of what's happening, because they're getting involved in election interference and everything like that. Just ask Fani Willis. She's got to answer to Jim Jordan about the federal money, all right, and election interference also. Ahead of Manhattan trial, after judge suggests star witness Cohen admitted perjury. There he is. He got that basset hound look on his face. It gives rise to two possibilities. One, Cohen committed perjury when he pled guilty. Or two, Cohen committed perjury in his October 2023 testimony. Namely, he can't keep his damn lies straight. Tennessee stopped off and buy me a coffee. Wait a second. Let me give Tennessee some hearts. And boom, boom, pow. Ha ha, boom. Here we go. Oh, that one. Got to get that on the black screen. There you go. Wow. Thank you, Tennessee. Stop by, buy me a coffee. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're losing seats at a scary rate. Bushner. I can't say your last name. I'm sorry about that. BSH. I think that's part of the scheme that we're prepared for. Just like the article I put up earlier, where they're going to try to not approve Trump. What's this one? Let me see what this is. Oh, this is, not only did they lower the money that Trump had to pay, but they got rid of all that crap that barred Trump from serving as an officer or director of the company, and Eric and Donald Jr. from serving as officers. So it was a much bigger rebuke than the reduction in the money. I want to point that out. The appellate court threw away a huge majority of this moron's decision even before an appeal is heard. The stuff was thrown out as a ridiculous, and not a lot of people are reporting on that. But somebody did straighten out Letitia James's tweet, okay? Remember this? Somebody straightened that out. Now it's fixed. You dopey. Plus all that interest she was racking up, forget it, okay? Nothing starts till 10 days from the date of the order for 175, and all that other calculations and giggling and jumping up and down they were doing, they can forget about it. And I want them to be reminded every single damn time that right after they did that, Trump's net worth went up. Now they're saying $6 billion. He's worth even more than Georgie Porgy Soriosio. Okay, now put that in your pipe and smoke it. Emerald Robinson, that's who I was talking about. Who put out the, she put out the, this right here. Just what you were talking about, DSH. The early retirements of Ken Buck and Mike Gallagher. I read this the other day. Excuse me. Are part of a scheme by the Uniparty cabal to stop Trump from winning in 2024 elections. How? They want to flip the House blue in time to nullify the electoral vote via the 14th Amendment. So that's what they're doing. And I don't know what role Gallagher's playing in it, what role Ken Buck's playing in it, but it's definitely going towards their goal. And you have dizzy so-called Republicans like this right here. This is a so-called Republican. Future of democracy depends on making sure Republicans are not the majority. Wait a minute, I thought you were a Republican. Liz Cheney is now campaigning for the defeat of all Republicans. And where is that crazy-looking... if I find her picture, you'll agree. Here you go. Talk about crazy looking. Right here. Is this crazy looking enough for you? I mean, therefore I am. Breaking, Lisa Murkowski is threatening to leave the Republicans if she sticks with Trump. Hey, we're cleaning the house. All right. So there you got. What's this one here? Here we go. Want some more? Y'all want to keep fawning over Obama? Chicago considers, quote, offensive plan to rename Columbus Drive for Barack Obama. Well, you know, the Italians are going to, yeah, it says there, after outrage, Italians step in. So, yeah, like Obama's as consequential as Columbus. Here, Letitia. When he's up, that's Trump Towers right there. Let me get Liz Cheney off the screen. I can't stand looking at her. Nauseating. But Kash Patel came out. What did Kash Patel have to say? There's more on this. Kash Patel warns Liz Cheney and her J6 committee lackeys that more is coming to expose their lies to the American public. So that's we're all going to be wanting to see about what's going on there. I tell you, I could go on about Russia, Romania. There's stuff percolating, but we can. Here's that idiot. We can get that maybe tomorrow. Venezuelan migrant who obstructed illegal aliens on how to evade American homes and invoke squatters' rights is now a fugitive. Yeah, he's doing TikTok videos where he's crying and holding a baby. We don't know if it's his babies or who they are. But, yeah, go ahead and cry some more. Here, this doesn't show anything out of line. But this says this guy who is suing P. Diddy, his last name is Jones, okay? And Cuba Gooding Jr., I've heard of him. I know who he is, but I never worried about anything he was ever in. I couldn't tell you what he was in. If it was a TV show or what he's famous for. This is Jones claims that Combs was GROOing him to pass him off to his friends, included Cuba Gooding Jr. while on board the P. Diddy's yacht. He alleged that he began, this is nothing too serious here, touching, groping, fondling his legs, his upper and thighs, his whatever, his back, there's his buttocks, and his shoulders. He had to forcibly push him away. So, I mean, what is it with these people? I mean, we're going to hear some names coming out of this. And is P. Diddy really walking around free? Did he really send his plane to the places we talked about the other day with him not on board? I put on my community posts where the reporter said he was running around the airport after his little flunky got arrested. I don't know. We shall see. Well, let me see. I have this bridge stuff I want to talk about. Here is it was odd. I remember when I was talking about how I'd seen bridges in my travels, and some of them had blocks where you couldn't, pylons or some kind of bumper obstruction, just like you would have around gas tanks to prevent damage. Well, here I can tell you for a fact that this system listens in, okay? Because right after I concluded my broadcast, what popped up on my feed? Wait a minute, let me find it. It popped up on my feed, and I got a screenshot. I said, I can't believe this. This is what I'm talking about, my live stream. So, yeah, AI is listening, okay? Let me find it. Here we go. This popped up on my feed last night after I finished talking. Or what night was it? Night before last. Here's what a surprise structural engineering professor said about the Baltimore Bridge. That is not a picture of the Baltimore Bridge, folks. It's a 2-minute video that came up on my feed after I discussed protective barriers in front of bridge supports. Remember? For those of you who watched my last broadcast, well, there you see it. There you see concrete structures. Here's an aerial view. What do you see in front of the support structures? That will protect from a ship coming in or debris from a hurricane or all kinds of things can cause damage to structural support of bridges. But that came in my feed right after I shut down the broadcast. So that tells you your device is listening and it can interpret. Let me see. Let's go through some stuff kind of quick. We'll do a speed round. Leading report says, breaking news, Louisiana Senate passed Bill 37-0 not to allow any rule, regulation, fee, tax, policy, or mandate of any kind from the WHO, UN, or WEF to be enforced or implemented by the state of Louisiana or other agency. Yeah, too bad the state's got to do that. The federal government should be doing that. But at least, we know what we got to start shooting for. Replacing these people in our own government, our local governments, folks. Pinky promise, just in. This is from Citizen Free Press. New York City has begun giving illegal aliens prepaid debit cards as part of a $53 million program. They must promise only to spend the money on food and baby supplies, and you get $1,400 per month. Like they said, it's a pinky promise. $1,400. That's New York. So we don't want to hear them complaining. But, the Biden will give him a administrative bailout of some sort, I'm sure. And we all end up paying for it. Now, this is something else that's weird. I guess I'll go a little bit longer. Are y'all up to go a little bit longer? Because I got something I don't want to leave till next broadcast. It's about this bridge thing. I just showed you about the buttress situation, right? The buttress situation to protect the barriers. Well, I posted a picture of Angela Chow, who is Mitt Romney's, related to Mitt Romney, not Mitt Romney, Mitch McConnell, and she is they say the CEO of the shipping company that owned the vessel that smacked into the bridge. Very odd. Well, we also know that she ended up drowned at the bottom of a pond. Her picture's on my community page. The pictures of the bridge and on my community page. 2 minutes. 2 minutes from the time of course deviation, it hit. And I said, can this be real about this Angela Chow being involved as far as, we got a Ukrainian captain, it was reported. We got Mitch McConnell's sister-in-law, who was in a Tesla and drowned in a pond just a couple of weeks ago. Her death has been ruled suspicious and being investigated as a red rum. She's the CEO of the company that has a ship that knocks down the Key Bridge. Can this be real? So I pull this video up. This comes in my feed. I wasn't looking for it. Information. It's a 4-minute, 33-second video. And I see a car getting pulled out of the water. And I said, oh my gosh, did I put on my community post about Angela Chow and it's not true? It's just some clickbaiter got me wired up because there's a picture of a car being pulled out of the water, right? Well, I listened to the video. And I might copy this video and play it for you all to get your opinion. But he says absolutely nothing. He said, well, the lights go out and they claim it was 11 seconds from the light going out and it hitting the pylon. And that's not true. And then he shows all these extra tweets repeating the same thing. It doesn't get into anything about the deviation, of course, what could have caused it, whether they dropped the anchor, about Angela Chow, none of that. Just talks about some 11-second period of the lights being out. Doesn't talk about what I said, the pivot. It doesn't just slowly drift over. That thing pivoted and made a beeline right for that post. But most people, see, this guy's got 232,000 views. Most people just see the thumbnail and keep scrolling or listen with half an ear. And you see this picture of this car being pulled out of the water, and you hear that stuff about Angela Chow who drowned in the pond, and you see this thing saying Key Bridge collapse misinformation. I know I sound a little cuckoo, but believe me, this is subtle misinformation right here. People are going to scroll over it or listen to it with half an ear. When they hear about Angela Chow, they're not going to believe it because they watch this guy I've never heard of with 232,000 views. So to me, it's unnerving. It's unnerving when they can put out that kind of stuff. And as that video out, right? This came out. This is what's been going all around. Baltimore bridge collapse, a cyber attack, a movie, and other false claims about the ship incident. It was just an accident, folks. And look at all these crazy conspiracy people. They're right away. They're just jumping on it, saying it was, it was just an accident. And what's everybody causing all this trouble for? These crazy conspiracy theorists. Oh, it's getting choppy. Cameraman said the box wasn't working. Am I coming through choppy, folks? My video's getting my signal has gotten weak. Pappy Two Bears and Mary came in to buy me coffee. Pappy Two Bears and Mary. Okay, it's getting. Jack says it's choppy. Pappy Two Bears and Mary. Oh my gosh. Okay, boom. Wow, Pappy Two Bears and Mary. I appreciate it. Yeah, my single songwriter got 5x5. Boom, 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 Nikki said. I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, my responses are kind of weak. Anyway, I guess since I am getting a breakup, New York Times. I got to find that other New York Times article that admitted that very powerful people did everything they could to prevent Donald Trump from being elected. That was in the New York Times 4 years ago. I'm going to find that, okay, and get a shot of it. And I'll put it right alongside of this. This is from the New York Times. It turns out the deep state is actually kind of awesome. In other words, they are out there and they are screwing around with the will of the American people. So anyway, here we go. There we go. What Dempsey is a ha ha ha. But I tell you what, we do laugh and we have these memes, but they're putting us and they're putting Donald Trump through hell. They're putting us and they're putting Donald Trump through hell. And we're not near the end of it, folks. We got some ugly stuff to go through, but we got to take the high road and keep on going. Oh, good, Mary, you got results. Yeah, sometimes it was giving you a hard time, wasn't it, Mary? Well, it's good. I'm glad it worked out all right. Hi, Ali. How you doing? I didn't see you sneak in. Miss Minderson snuck in, too. How you doing, Miss Minderson? You didn't sneak in. I was just podging around through my studio. Tyne, how you doing? I hope I didn't miss anybody. So, I wish I had put those pictures in of the ship route and things of that nature. But, hey, all will be revealed. And remember this now, right here. Let me see. Let me get some of these off the screen. Here we go. Patricia Dixon put this up. Former White House lawyer confirms he behind Trump's back organized threats of mass resignations to successfully thwart Trump from appointing an acting attorney general who would seriously investigate the 2020 elections. This character right here. So they're bragging about it. So I pulled the article up where I could get his name. Here we go. Assured failure. Ex-White House lawyer provides new details final days of 2020 election gambit. Pat Philbin gave his first public testimony about the chaotic final days of the Trump presidency. So his effort by Donald Trump to remake the Justice Department into a tool of his bid to cling to power despite losing the election. So let's keep an eye on this creepo. And you know, we're dealing with lunatics. Look, they're coming through the door. Somebody's still got one of them things on their face. You know, you're dealing with some weak-minded people, low IQ individuals, right, folks? When you see stuff like that. What's this? Here we go. What a great day. Democrats revived two huge blows, should say received. Trump properties weren't seized by crooked Letitia James and lost one of their biggest cheerleaders, Diddy Combs. Oopsie. Remember he used to come out with that stuff, vote or die, and all this crap, and then it turned out he didn't even go vote. That's when I remember when he first came in the picture. They're with Hillary and they're with Obama. Show me your friends, I'll show you you. So anyway, folks, here we go. Something to keep in mind as we close out. I know my stream's a little jittery, but if liberal politicians treat us this poorly when we're armed to the teeth, just imagine what they'd be willing to do to us if they take away our guns. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to play that. I got that 30-second or so clip of two guys on a wind turbine. I'll play that tomorrow because I know my signal is bad. And I do want to pontificate on that because the economic damage loss that is coming out because of the green news scam is inconceivable, folks. Now, what I'm going to do between now and tomorrow and over the weekend and stuff, I'm going to be putting a lot of my posts and my messages and the tweets that I showed you other people do, I'm going to put on my Truth Social. So if you say, oh man, I want to and don't want to mess around with trying to grab screenshots and do all that, go to Truth Social on look for Mountain Man, and I'll be putting, and I'll even put up stuff that I don't get to put up on my videos. Okay. So the green news scam, we're going to focus on that, plus the day's events, and I've got so much stuff. But anyway, folks, how about this one? To wrap it up, DJT, 2 days before the first posting of that specific letter. All right, folks, and I hope it plays smooth enough for you all to hear. And I appreciate you all spending precious time with me. And I want to thank Pappy Two Bears, Mary, Tennessee, Wanda, and Angela for helping out with Buy Me a Coffee. You've been a big help, and I do appreciate it, folks. You all have a great night. I'll play this video for you, and I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
You guys know what this represents? Well, I think the comedy was, let's just start with the comedy was still on.
What storm is
We have the world's great military people.